Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, is the co-sponsor of a bill to help streamline the process and joins me now. Senator, thank you so much. Senator, if we could zero in on the problem, why has it taken so long? And even now we're telling people that they have to get to Kabul, getting past all kinds of Taliban checkpoints. People are getting killed while this is happening. Why can't they speed up this process?
Well, we're working to speed up this process. The problem is the State Department has only authorized a certain number of visas under this program to give out. And we've had exponentially more Afghanis who worked with U.S. forces than the State Department even has visas for. And the State Department is so backed up right now, they can't even process these visas in time. They're looking at a 2 to 4 year backlog, which is why it's very important for us to get these people out. They've got bullseyes on their backs as well as on those of their family members. We need to get them immediately out of harm's way. That's why I support Congressman Crow's legislation. I'm carrying a similar one in the House that increases the number of visas available, but really allows the administration to take these folks out of Afghanistan immediately while we work out the paperwork issue.
I know Senator Shaheen has worked on this and other members on the Armed Services Committee. So what can be done? I know that because of the pandemic, the embassy in Kabul wasn't processing visas at all for a long stretch of time. They didn't have people there doing consular work. But, you know, the problem is it's a legislative, the State Department says it is a legislative requirement for these special visas. So can you change that requirement legislatively so that they can grant some kind of exempted process where they can get away to a third country or into the United States to a military base and wait out their approvals there?
Yeah. The short answer is yes, we're doing that now. And we're working on the legislative fix. But Andrea, even before that, we can physically move these people out of there into another location. And there's precedents for this. During the first Persian Gulf War, when our Kurdish allies and our interpreters were left behind when President Bush ended the war. They were hunted down by Saddam Hussein. They had to run and flee into the mountains as Saddam went after anybody that worked with Americans and tried to kill them all. And what President Clinton then did was he actually sent aircraft in that carried those folks out, all of those interpreters, brought them to Guam where they waited. And they went through all the paperwork and got all of the bureaucracy caught up, and then they were moved to the United States. We can do the same thing. They don't have to go just to American bases. We can send them to other places around the world where we have U.S. troops. We can send them to other nations. And while we wait, but physically we need to get them out of Afghanistan. We can't leave anybody behind. We can't leave Americans behind. We can't leave our hostages that are being held by the Taliban and their affiliates. I have a constituent, Mark Freericks, who's still in in Taliban hands right now. And we certainly cannot leave the interpreters behind. We need to take them too.
And the airport, their only path out, may not be secure for that long. This withdrawal is going so quickly. The other piece is there are women's rights advocates, civilians who are not part of this combat operation, human rights advocates, educators who are really at risk. And some of them may want to leave their country because they are so much in danger. Can't we extend this beyond the SIV program that, for which those translators who actually worked for the U.S. Military qualify?
I think that needs to be a separate program. This is very specific to the U.S. military. These are folks who fought alongside us, bled with us. These are folks who carried American troops when they were wounded out of harm's way. These are folks who have given more for America and in many cases bled for America even before they have become American citizens. So this is two separate things. I agree. We certainly need to look at what we can do with human rights activists and the like. But as far as the translators and those who worked with American troops, we made a promise to them specifically that we would not leave them behind. That was a promise that the United States made to them in exchange for them working with us. If we don't keep our promises, not only are we letting down people who served us, but nobody will ever work with Americans ever again. Should we go into another country and say, hey, trust us, we'll take care of you. And they'll say, well, look at what you did to the Afghanis. You dumped them and you left them behind to die. And we can't do that.